told me it was white.
Yeah, I usually just write my reviews on regular white paper. What does that have to do with... Anyway, do you think the kids will like tonight's episode?
The kids? This will give the parents nightmares.
I'm just gonna be reviewing a few... Oh, right, you're talking about the giant dinosaur in front of us.
It's fantastic.
And this is Movie Night. Hello and welcome to Movie Night. I'm your host, Jonathan Paula. Tonight we're taking a look at some new releases from June 2015, beginning with Entourage. This 104-minute adaptation of HBO's long-running comedy drama of the same name was written, produced, and directed by its showrunner, Doug Elin. Released on June 3, 2015, the $30 million film should do slightly better than break even after its first month. The R-rated narrative picks up a week after the final episode with a quick reintroduction to the characters by way of an in-universe TV special hosted by Piers Morgan. He breathlessly lays out all of the backstory and exposition for any potential newcomers or forgetful fans. The TV show's title sequence inventively displayed the names of the cast and crew as real-world signs around Hollywood. The movie similarly begins with such a sequence, but this time the marquees aren't atop dive bars or strip clubs, but famous Los Angeles landmarks. It's a subtle but accurate metaphor for the entire film, a familiar echo of its past, but done in a bigger and better way. Let me stop here and just say I was a huge fan of the show, having marathoned through all 8 seasons in a matter of weeks just after it went off the air in 2011. It was a quick-witted, slice-of-life drama that chronicled the misadventures of Hollywood's elite, and all the bickering, politicking, and debauchery that goes on behind the scenes. But on a deeper level, it was about brotherhood and loyalty between friends. I grew to love and laugh with these characters so much that when the series finally ended, I actually began to cry at how much fun the whole experience was. I can be a bit emotional at times, what can I say? And even though I don't believe a feature film was necessary, I was sufficiently elated to finally see the boys back together for one more ride. Nearly every major and minor character from Entourage reprises their role here, including of course the core 5, Kevin Connolly, Adrian Grenier, Kevin Dillon, Jerry Ferrara, and Jeremy Piven. Sliding back into their characters with ease, it's as if this group never missed a day, let alone 4 years. Connolly is his normal worried self, especially after he believes he may have gotten 2 girls pregnant at the same time. Grenier is full-heartedly trying to direct his first feature film. Ferrara, now basking in a tequila fortune, attempts a courtship with MMA fighter Ronda Rousey, and Dillon provides ample comic relief while struggling to maintain relevance as an actor. Remarking on their ongoing purpose in life, Ferrara is quick to remind his friends that everything we do is to get laid. And last but certainly not least, Piven is back in the role that deservingly scored him 3 Emmys. Once again incredible as the loudmouth agent turned Hollywood exec, smashing pictures at his therapist's office when a business call delivers bad news.
Vinny has been on sets before, so I expected more from him.
I told you he was gonna yell at me.
Yeah, but he's yelling about me.
What'd you spend the money on anyway? I mean, I know it wasn't on Turtle and Craft Services.
You like the new Svelte frame, huh?
You look like Karen Carpenter. What did I tell you when I gave you $100 million?
What did we tell you?
You agreed to not go over.
We told you it wasn't enough.
But you agreed to not go over.
Because you said I couldn't direct unless we agreed.
It's like when a girl asks if you want to bang her hot sister. Of course you say no. Neither of you really believes you mean it, though.
What is he doing here?
The expletive and nudity-filled plot bounces around between these 5 characters and their intertwining storylines, as the group struggles to save their reputations and career. But honestly, the stakes are even more meaningless than ever. Yeah, it'd be nice to see them succeed, but the group are already worth hundreds of millions of dollars, so even if the worst-case scenario does happen, it's hard to feel bad for them. Although the pacing feels a bit strained with the feature-length runtime, there's a huge array of famous cameos to keep things interesting, from Liam Neeson and Bob Saget to Gary Busey and Jessica Alba. But it's the all-grown-up Haley Joel Osment as a horny Southern investor who makes the biggest impression. Working with a wider frame, Elin shows off plenty of fast cars, hot women, and beautiful scenery, in a movie that seems to have been filmed almost entirely on location around Hollywood. Much like the show, plenty of recognizable pop songs adorn the soundtrack during pivotal moments, which take the place of a more traditional score. This is a shallow, consequence-free story that's generally rather forgettable, but for the followers of the series, it's like putting on an old pair of shoes, comfortable and familiar in the best way possible. They say you can't go home again, but the Entourage film proves otherwise. A wonderful big-screen send-off, especially for the fans. I thought it was a good film. For tonight's poll question, what's your favorite spy movie? Extra points if it isn't a James Bond film. Leave your response as a comment below. My second review tonight is for Spy. This rather generically titled action comedy from director Paul Feig was released worldwide on June 5, 2015, where it made back its $65 million budget in its first week. The 120-minute feature follows the globe-trotting misadventures of an unassuming desk-bound CIA analyst who is thrust into the field to stop a terrorist threat. Melissa McCarthy is fabulous, bringing all of this character's nuances to life. She's funny and flirtatious, but also whip-smart, courageous, and athletically capable. In a world of predefined, picture-perfect protagonists, it's refreshing to have a unique and authentic hero for a change. Opposite McCarthy with some equally amusing performances are Rose Byrne as a crass and sexy Russian target, Jude Law as an impossibly skilled field agent, Allison Janney as a strict leader, Miranda Hart as a plucky and nervous sidekick, Peter Safranowicz as a horny Italian ally, and Jason Statham in a standout role as a stubbornly angry operative with a penchant for comical exaggeration and clumsiness. I really hope this film encourages him to do more comedy projects, because he was positively laugh-out-loud funny in every scene he was in.
Obviously, we're talking about a mole.
It could be a mole. They could have hacked our system. It's anyone's guess. The bottom line is, Raina Boyanov is about to sell a small-scale tactical nuclear weapon to a terrorist organization, and we don't know where she or the bomb is. Now, fortunately, our analyst Susan Cooper found a lead.
I told you to send me in there instead of Fine, and you didn't. And now Fine's dead. I'm going to f in.
You can't.
Here's what we do. I go into the face-off machine, get a whole new face.
Do you have quarters? Because it costs 50 cents.
What, gotta pay?
No, because it doesn't exist.
This group and their complicated, evolving relationships carry the film's unnecessarily involved R-rated plot, which begins to overstay its welcome by the final act. After opening with an undercover assassination, the film's stylized title sequence, with dancing women and flashy graphics, is an obvious allusion to James Bond. But this picture isn't a spoof or a parody. The action and consequences are very real. Were it not for the film's lighter tone and goofy characters, it could honestly pass for a straight-up thriller. The action and fight choreography are surprisingly excellent, while simultaneously maintaining their absurdity, like a fantastic sequence where McCarthy attempts to dispatch an enemy inside a cluttered kitchen by throwing everything within arm's reach, from loaves of bread to clumps of vegetables at her attacker's head. One of the more effective running gags involves McCarthy's increasingly embarrassing cover identity she's forced to adopt, which has a remark on her latest passport photo, "I look like someone's homophobic aunt." Filmed on location in Budapest, the anamorphic frame maintains a sharp focus on the action, while clearly allowing the fights and car chases to be easily followed. A constant reminder that strength and ability can be deceiving, this is a great example of how the unlikeliest of heroes are often those who save the day. If you're a fan of spy movies, Fegg's work, or McCarthy's frequent pratfalls, this is definitely a picture worth checking out a couple times. Spy uses the juxtaposition of ridiculous characters in serious situations for a really fun time. And here's what you had to say about it in the YouTube comments. Praising the comedy and action, we both agreed this is a great movie. Before we continue, some shameless self-promotion. If you'd like to impress your friends, stay comfortable, and help support my YouTube channel, please check out Jogwheel's merchandise store over at thatreference.com. We've got plenty of movie-inspired designs, all created by yours truly, including a Jurassic Park-themed shirt. Sizes are available from small to XXL, and we ship internationally. Give the site a visit, and maybe you'll find a product you like. And while we're on the subject of self-promotion, I encourage you to watch my reviews of the Jurassic Park trilogy that I produced for a special episode back in 2013, which I'm still rather proud of today. Click the link on screen or in the description below to be caught up and watch them now, and I'll be right here when you get back with my review of Jurassic World. This science fiction-themed adventure from director Colin Trevorrow was released 22 years in one day after the iconic original premiered in June 11th of 1993. This fourth installment in the Jurassic Park series was produced on a large budget of $150 million, but it seems possible it'll earn almost $1 billion. Ignoring parts 2 and 3 entirely, the 123-minute script functions as a direct sequel to the original, which allows for some great callbacks most fans will adore. The series' tradition of absolutely fantastic taglines, which previously featured an adventure 65 million years in the making and Something Has Survived, continues with The Park is Open, a simple and succinct summary of the PG-13 rated film. 2 decades after the disaster of Part 1, Isla Nublar is now a fully featured and functioning dinosaur theme park, but its daily attendance of 20,000 is slowly declining. To attract new crowds, the arrogant humans at the park genetically engineer a super smart and super deadly Indominus Rex, which predictably escapes captivity and begins eating everyone. Gee, why does that sound familiar? By experimenting on a trio of super intelligent sharks, who predictably break free and begin eating everyone. Caught up in the excitement are 2 young brothers played by Nick Robinson and Ty Simpkins, neither of whom really have the charm or likability to carry such a large story. Fortunately, Hollywood's go-to guy, Chris Pratt, co-stars as a gruff raptor expert. He effortlessly nails the dramatic one-liners and sly jokes, but he's at his best while running and dodging the giant man-eating beasts. And as I watched him tuck and roll through a closing paddock door, I couldn't help but think, yeah, this guy would probably be pretty great as Indiana Jones someday.
fire, do not fire. Put 12 amps in these animals, they're never gonna trust me again.
As the buttoned-up park manager, Bryce Dallas Howard is a suitable fit for the other adult lead, but she just isn't very interesting or redeemable until late in the picture. Vincent D'Onofrio, meanwhile, does great work as a greedy military type, while B.D. Wong reprises his role as a smug lab tech, the only actor to return from any of the previous films. During the first 20 minutes, we get to see the expensive and marvelous park through the eyes of its paying customers, and it's just as wonderful as we always hoped it'd be, complete with monorails, holograms, and a fun safety video from Jimmy Fallon. But even with the reuse of John Williams' majestic themes, these introductory reveals lack the subtlety and magic that made the 1993 picture so unforgettable. As with before, the underlying theme here is a cautionary tale about the illusion of control, with the park's wealthy helicopter-flying owner, played by Irfan Khan, remarking, "Jurassic World exists to remind us how very small we are, and how new." Teasing the appearance of the primary dinosaur with the ominous rustling of jungle leaves, Trevorrow saves the best moments for the back half of the picture. When the 50-foot hybrid dino emerges from camouflage to take out a team of security personnel, the result is loud, violent, and bloody. A clear and layered sound mix combined with awesome visual effects bring these scary monsters to life with undeniable realism. It's clear the focus of the film is on this terrifying action, as a number of subplots are entirely abandoned by the picture's end. When our heroes seek refuge inside the abandoned visitor center from the original park, now enveloped by the jungle, it's hard not to get goosebumps as history seems poised to repeat itself. There are plenty of other parallels to JP1 as well, from outrunning a pursuing threat in a speeding jeep to the awkward adult who is uncomfortable around a pair of curious kids. The tall 16:9 lens allows for ample room to frame the giant monsters, but many shots resemble a Costa Rican tourism commercial as a brand new Mercedes cruises down an impeccably groomed dirt road. Michael Giacchino is my favorite composer working today, and once again he proves why, blending new themes and flourishes into the existing mythos of the saga, resulting in a regal-sounding score befitting this high-concept production. Despite the shortcomings of the script, underdeveloped characters, and familiar progressions, this is still an immensely enjoyable and well-paced trip back to the titular theme park. And while it doesn't deliver the wonder of Spielberg's efforts, this is definitely the strongest sequel yet, even if it does borrow heavily from its predecessor. Jurassic World may lack spirit, but its effects and action are a blockbuster attraction. I thought it was a great movie. If they decide to make a new trilogy out of this, I for one would be interested in seeing where they go next. Finally tonight, a look at what you're saying about movies currently playing in theaters. If you see a new movie in theaters, tweet your review at the JPMN hashtag. Next week, we'll be reviewing a selection of Pixar movies: Toy Story, Finding Nemo, The Incredibles, WALL-E, and their upcoming release, Inside Out. I imagine you've seen most of these movies, so please share your opinions by voting in the polls below or by leaving a comment review. And if you'd like to watch more Movie Night, please check out the related videos on the right or subscribe. Also, be sure to follow me on social media for updates and exclusive content. Once again, my name is Jonathan Paula. Thank you for watching and listening. Until next time, have a good movie night.